Bernie Sanders. A couple weeks back, Illinois Governor Pritzker made a little waves when he said that, yes, they're a democracy. Yes, we have to organize. Yes, we have to electorally and run for office and get our people elected. But also, we cannot wait. We have to have mass protests, mobilization, and disruption. Is that what it's going to take? Because, again, there's 520 more days. We've got 5 more of what we just went through before even we get to cast a single vote.
Look, we have got to use, the answer is yes, and we have got to use all of the tools that we can in Congress and out on the streets. The truth of the matter is, I don't care if you are a conservative Republican or a progressive as I am, you do not believe, I mean, you just stop and think about it. Think about the men and women who fought and died against Hitler, fought and died against fascism, fought and died to defend American democracy. And I think the vast majority of the American people, regardless of the ideology, are not and cannot and must not sit back and allow us to move into an authoritarian type society where people get picked up off the streets and put in detention centers. Really? In the United States of America? Where the Constitution is undermined, where you have a president suing the media. Maybe Trump will sue you. Mike, didn't like the questions you asked me. Intimidating.
Hold on 1 second. Let's edit that part out, please. But I know that I want to talk about the press.
Okay.
Because one of the things you say that the vast number of the American people don't want this to become an autocracy with people being swept off the street and that sort of thing. That's if they know about it. You have to actually have a press that is telling you what's going on and even speaking. And the problem has become is that even stating the truth about this administration ends up sounding biased because it's really hard to find something that isn't negative or anti-democratic about what they're doing. So, case in point, you and 8 other senators wrote a letter to my ultimate boss, the chair of Paramount, warning of the dangers of having CBS settle a lawsuit that Trump has brought against CBS News, as you.
Now we're going to get you fired, you know.
What?
Maybe this might be his last show.
You know, yes. That's where that graphic came from. What effect would settling something like that have?
All right, does everybody know what this issue is about? You got a president of the United States, for the first time in history, sues media because he doesn't like what they are saying about him. Very sensitive guy. All right. Meanwhile, he attacks everybody in the most vicious ways. Well, when media does something he doesn't like, he sues them. What does it mean? He's already received a settlement from ABC, from Meta. He's going after the Des Moines Register because he didn't like a poll that they did. I know. And now what's very big is he's suing CBS because he did not like a 60-minute show, an interview with Kamala Harris. How insane is that? Now you ask me what the impact is. If he gets away with that, what do you think 60 Minutes and other shows all over the country are going to be thinking about? Can we have that guest on the show? Maybe not. Maybe he or she is going to say something that Trump doesn't like. Let's not do it. Oh, here's a story. No, we really can't quite go with that story because we don't want to get sued. He's suing CBS for $20 billion. All right. So your
point... That is a lot of money. They barely pay me that much.
But he's not going to get $20 billion. But to concede that you did something wrong on a CBS, it happens to be 60 Minutes might be the best investigative show, in television. And the producer, as you know, resigned. Yes. But to give in to Trump is to allow him now to say, I gotcha. All right? And anybody who speaks up against me, you're in trouble. But he's going after universities. I mean, all of this is going after law firms who've represented clients that he didn't like. This is what authoritarianism is about.
You recently suggested that if Democrats don't change, if they don't find a national message that speaks to the majority of this country, people will start running as independents.
Yes.
Why do you think young people get excited about folks like you or AOC or New York City mayor hopeful Zorhan Mamdani, who are self-described democratic socialists? Why is socialism cool again, Bernie?
I think people are looking at this country today and they're seeing incredible greed. And they're seeing that in the richest country in the history of the world, so few have so much and so many have so little. There is, Stephen, I get around the country. I was just, I go on and on. I was just did a virtual program, Zoom, with some workers in nursing homes. They're working 80 hours a week, taking care of their patients. You got people working crazy hours for horribly low wages. People can't afford housing. When I was a kid, the American dream was you are at some point going to be able to own your own house. Young people today no longer believe that that is possible. In fact, many of the young people have a lower standard of living than their parents. So I think the young people are looking out there and they're saying, why? With all of this technology, with all of this wealth, why are we not doing better for ordinary Americans than we are? And what the Democrats are lacking now is a vision for the future. And that gets back to a corrupt campaign finance system, the unwillingness to take on the greed of big money interest. And that is, I think, what young people perceive.
Senator, thank you so much for being here.
Okay.
Giving all us the time. Senator Bernie Sanders, everybody. We'll be right back with a performance by Pavement. Stick around.